What's up, everybody? The market's dumping. It's over. Oh, you are so out of your mind. We've got some very important things we got to look at today. We're going to be diving in just a moment. This is doing exactly what I've outlined the last 3 or 4 days. I'm going to show you the exact signals we're looking at, show you what opportunities we're trying to find. And I'm also going to talk about those top cryptos that you should be paying attention to going into 2025, what is going to be likely to be some of the top performers in this market. Because make no jokes about it, some of the best opportunity of our life is just around the corner. And yes, it feels like it's been saying that for 7 months, but we've been consolidating, forming one of the best bases we could have ever imagined, the best springboards we could have ever imagined before we get this next leg up. And it's only 3 days, 3 business days until we get that U.S. election. So I think that's going to dispel or remove some of the sort of uncertainty that's going on in markets. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to turn on the tunes because, so we're having a little bit of a pullback on the small time frame, sure, but Bitcoin is pumping, crypto is pumping, make no lie about it. So everybody, I want to see you get active, retweet the space. Let's get live in the live chat and let's everybody vibe because we're about to get it.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish shelter. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pumping, altcoin, pumping.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pumping.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Prepare for this.
It's time to break these charts down, to break down the signals, to keep you in the know, let you know what we're stacking into for 2025 and a lot more. TA, hit the 1 in chat if you're ready. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. The market is doing what right now? It's providing some of those last bits of opportunity before the market runs away. We need to make sure that we are paying attention to the right signals, paying attention to the right levels, paying attention to the right types of targets and the right type of actions that we can take within this space so that we can take advantage of what the profitability can be going into 2025. Because that altcoin market cycle, that altcoin season everybody's waiting on, it's coming. Bitcoin breaking out above $75,000 and a target maybe up somewhere on the low side of 164,000. Considering where we may be going, you should be asking yourself, what are you doing right now that can make sure that you can take the best advantage of what's happening in this market? Because right now we see the market is dumping. It's all over. Oh my God, this bull flag got invalidated and it's pushing to the, stop whining. You're looking at this wrong. And I'm not calling you out specifically. I'm just saying, if you're frustrated right now, take a breather. Maybe it's a good signal to get outside and sit in the park. Because right now, although this is breaking down, what did I say? Was this yesterday? Okay, Bitcoin doing a good job holding where it is right now. This was yesterday. These are the main levels I'm watching. I had 69.5, 73.6, and 78.8. Now, what else did I say? Bitcoin is in a potential, remember I said potential bull flag. However, I have a feeling a washout could catch emotional people off guard. Watch for the bear trap, though. If it breaks out, which it did the opposite, so we don't even need to read that, So we talked about the potential breakdown. This is what it looked like yesterday, and we're looking for a potential retest somewhere in this region right here, about 69.5, maybe even a little bit above that, 70. And if it holds where it's at right now and it just reverses from here, amazing, because this is a bull flag. So what would be the best thing to do? It would be to take liquidity in both directions. So what did they do? We have the price action breaking bullishly. And this is why I say on here so regularly, you don't trade the exact breakout. You wait. You look for the price action to imagine this is a line that we're watching, the breakout zone. You want to watch for the breakout. You want to watch for the slight retrace. Where do the bulls come back in to defend an area? And on this bounce back to the upside, that's where you would buy. So in this case, this pushed up, it came back down. It never had that resurgence back to the upside with continuation. We never got past this high right here, which would essentially be this high right here that we're looking at as a metaphor. So what we're doing right now, what the market is doing right now, getting people committed long, let's flush them out. Getting people committed short, let's flush them out. Maybe a little bit more sideways. And I do think sometime by the end of next week, we will have some price action to the upside, regardless of the presidential, if they actually come to a decision sometime next week. You know, it's amazing to see how inept our democratic process is with the best technology we've ever had in the history of the world, and yet we can't have things quantized, basically categorized, and basically sorted within, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, even midnight on the day of the election. It's kind of ridiculous. So there is going to be some uncertainty going into Tuesday next week. And then, of course, with going into that day specifically, and then the next couple of days afterwards. And I'm not trying to make this political. I'm talking specifically about how we can forecast and be aware that there's going to be some likely certainty and uncertainty chops that are going to affect what's happening in this market. So when we're looking at the price action and we see that it's come down a little bit, remember, we are in the last throes of opportunity before this thing absolutely runs away. Unless we get some sort of, black swan catastrophe, or, complete indecision and mass unrest, civil war type of thing, which is possible. You see everything going on in the news right now, and it's possible for either side. We have to pay attention right now, because even if that were to take place, it would just slowly delay a small amount when this price is going to start pushing up. Now, if Trump wins, I think Bitcoin is going to perform incredibly. If Kamala wins, I think Bitcoin will still perform well. It'll be a little bit more muted, but altcoins may have a little bit longer to go before they have their alt season. So we need to pay attention to these levels, because we're seeing a little bit of a swing in the markets. It's a 2.37 trillion market cap right now. Yesterday was at 2.44 or something. So we got a little bit of downward price action on the day, but we're still holding $70,600. Ethereum still above 2,500. BNB 577, Solana 170, XRP as a stable coin that it has been lately at that 50 cent mark. Dogecoin 16 cents. Tron is about 16.8. Toncoin 485. Cardano still hovering up here at number 11 on CoinMarketCap rankings, 34 cents. And they've, of course, just had a little bit of new developments with how they may be utilizing, or I don't want to say evolving over to, but also including being a bit of a layer 2 for the Bitcoin network with, I think it's called BitOS or something like that. But there's a lot of things going on in this market. If we come over here and look at the hourly, we're getting a little bit of a bounce now. About an hour ago, everything was red. So we got to pay attention to what's going on, because there's so many people in the market right now that are trading emotionally. And it just blows my mind that we're on the precipice of what every single one of you has been waiting for. Do not fuck this up. Do not mess this up because you're being impatient at the last moments before life-changing opportunities here for those that can endure it. And you have to make sure you're investing. You have to make sure you're looking at your own risk management. You have to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for failure, because if you're betting your rent on a coin, and then you remember these markets can remain, what's the word? Not insolvent. Markets can remain irrational longer than most people can remain solvent. That means that these markets can get to a point where they frustrate the max number of people before they finally make their move. So we are on that precipice right now. And again, shout out if this is your first time here. My name's Kellam with BitLab Academy, and I'm here to bring you meaningful tools, content, resources, and build this empowering, wonderful community here in this very dark internet space where people are either shilling you something because they bought it, or they're trying to push their narrative, or there's just nothing but trolls. No, this is a place of gratitude. This is a place of betterment. This is a place where we grow together. That's what this is about. So whether or not you're sitting at home in your pajamas, working at your little, on your couch, your home office, right? You got TV on in the background. Maybe you had oysters last night. Maybe you had some steak. Maybe you had chicken ramen. It doesn't matter. Every one of us is doing this together. We need to make sure that we are focused on what our strategy is and do not let the noise of this moment jack up what your strategy is. So when we come back over here and we look at what's going on and we see the price action moving to the downside on this 4-hour time frame, this does not mean it's over. As I just pointed out a couple minutes ago, yesterday I shared this chart, potential bull flag with the target up here. Feels good, but being on the precipice of one of the most anticipated bullish breakouts in the history of Bitcoin, you have to expect some chop. So that's why I said Bitcoin is a potential bull flag in a potential bull flag. However, I have a feeling a washout could catch emotional people off guard. This was yesterday at 11:27 p.m. a.m. in the morning, and I was talking about this setup might make people just go long, and that's exactly what it did. We got a little bit of a breakout, but we did not confirm it. As I just pointed out, we did not break out, confirm, and then launch. We saw the breakout, fake out, bull trap. It basically gets people committed that are just so excited. They're buying the FOMO. Oh, it's about to break. I got to get it. And then it just reverses and commits people short. Now what's going to happen here? We want to pay attention to this. And this is super duper quadruple double supercalifragilisticexpialidociously exactly what we want to see right now. What the hell am I talking about? You do not want to see price action to go up. I know it's counterintuitive. You want to see it go up, and then you want to see it pull back. And where did that pull back to? Previous range high. We want to see it go up. And then what do we want to see it? Pull back to where? Previous range high. So all of this has been mapped out. It's been giving you the roadmap for what to expect if you let yourself look at the data and not get so triggered by needing this or really wanting this to break out. You say, this is setting up for a breakout, but man, we still haven't gotten any retest lower. So now that we're getting that, you can realize that this is as expected. And if you're having any trouble understanding what's going on here, remember this price action is so close to the previous all-time high of $73,600, $73,800. Once price action breaks above $74,000, I just want to remind you, if you want to dive in and really get a good understanding of what's going on, take advantage of that deal right there, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. You get 15 days free and then about 35% off the membership for life. That gets you into our Discord. And we've got quite a few, innumerable number of traders, charts, setups, member streams, all kind of stuff. If you want to upgrade also, we have 120 lessons breaking down everything from water candles, candlesticks, all kinds of different indicators from RSIs, stochastics, BitLab Trading Stack, Fibonacci's, patterns, technical analysis, psychology of trading, on-chain data analysis. And I really recommend every single one of you, regardless of where you're at in your journey, it is such a great refresher to make sure that you have yourself set up. You have your operating system fully tuned so that you can dominate this market as it moves to the upside. So take advantage of that while you can. If you want to get that upgrade, once you sign up, you can get the courses that also come along with the indicators, BitLab Trading Stack indicators. And those are not 15 days free, but you get them, I think, also about 30 or more % off. So take advantage of that because this deal is going away once we break past $74,000. lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Now let's look at some stuff. Let's look at some signals. And I'm going to also be breaking down a little bit about what the top crypto projects I'm looking at for 2025. But before we get into that, I want to see every single one of you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, turn on those notifications. And of course, we do a giveaway every Monday. And that is for everybody that's participating, getting involved, being engaged with this channel. And of course, coming over here to my page here at Academy BitLab or right here at Kelly Kellam, Kelly Kellam. Hit this retweet button, hit this like button that enters you to win. Sometimes we draw multiple people. If we get a huge number of people that do the retweets, we might draw 2 winners. So I just want to shout that out. Shout out to everybody that is tuned in. Now let's look at the signal. Let's look at what's going on. And shout out to Falco for gifting 5 channel memberships. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you, every single one of you that super chats. You're a BitLab member of BitLab Academy, part of the trading group. And if you do want to see the links that we have, you can join our free traders group right here. And of course, if you want to protect yourself, head over to nordvpn.com/BitLab. Protect yourself online, especially if you've been stacking and you don't have a VPN, you're not protecting yourself from being basically singled out online and getting your accounts. It's not just crypto, accounts, bank accounts, identity theft. nordvpn.com/BitLab. Protect yourself. And you also get 4 months free when you sign up through this link, and you're helping support the channel. Now let's look at the signal. Let's look at what's going on. U.S. Bitcoin ETFs daily inflow, 2 days over $870 million. In fact, BlackRock, I think by itself had 9. I think this must be old, or this may not take all account of all the information. The BlackRock IBD ETF, I think, brought in $900 million yesterday. We're only just getting started. We talk about it daily, but everything that's coming up the first 2 weeks, first half of December, $16 billion getting redistributed to crypto-focused individuals, FTX creditors, people out there that basically have been sidelined with $16 billion sidelined. Now, will all of it go back into crypto? Absolutely not. But I would argue that probably pretty confidently, I could say more than 70% of it will. Let's just say it's 50%. That's $8 billion. Then we have Microsoft shareholders voting on whether or not they want to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. That puts every other major corporation, especially tech companies, on notice that they need to make sure that they have their Bitcoin strategy and what their plan is in order, because the first 1, 2, or 3 that do it, they are going to absolutely far and away eclipse every other company that may be a competitor of theirs moving forward. So this happens in the first week and a half of December. Then we also have the fair value accounting rules that are happening, I think, around December 9th. I can't remember the date, but it's in that first 2 weeks, which is going to more freely allow corporations and institutions in the U.S. to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Right about the time. Is this why the Microsoft shareholder meeting is right about then? I mean, let's consider what's going on. In addition to all of that, we have the election in 3 days, and the global liquidity is ticking up. We got $1.4 trillion in China that is about to get printed. That's starting this sort of the fueling of what that next leg up can be. So let's not get shaken out because the price action falls. Look at this. Oh my God, it fell. Come on, boom, boom. Let's delete that. There we go. Right click. There we go. Hit shift, click down. We fell $1,800. So the price action is over now. The bull market's over. No, man, you got to make sure that you have your strategy in place, because we're going to be getting into some more TA here in just a few minutes. But we got 353 people tuned in right now. So shout out to each and every one of you. So now moving on, we're coming in. Today is the last day of October. And do you remember not so long ago at the beginning of this month, people were saying, I thought it was supposed to be October, meaning they thought everybody was saying October is supposed to be bullish and price action was supposed to go up. What happened the first 10 days of October? Price action pulled back. Everybody forgot to look at data, and I've been sharing it. For those of you that have been tuned in, I showed you the exact time period of October last year, and we had a negative 7.41% drop the first 14 days of October, and then we ended at a 29% pump from the beginning of October at the end. Same thing happened this year. We had a little bit of a sell-off right at the beginning of October, and then it was a minus 7% the first, it's like 7 days or 12 days, I can't remember, about 10 days, 7% drop, and now we're up about 18% from the open of October. So we have October, unless we have October. As long as we don't get a $10,000 drop today, which could happen. We've predominantly been quite bullish this month. And if you look at this, we might be getting right into the point, and let's actually pull it up. We might be getting to the point where if the price pumps at all today, let's zoom this in. And is crypto crank here? Because I got something for you here in just a little bit I think you'll appreciate. If we look at this, I wanted to see where the monthly close is here. I'm looking OHLC. C is close. So I put my mouse over this candle. The close is 60,000. No, that was on the bottom side. 71,320. Highest monthly close we'd ever had. We're sitting here currently, middle of the day, 70,649. If the price pushes up to right here, close 71,320, then we will close with the highest monthly candle ever. Even if we don't, that does not spell disaster because we can see the price action has moved down. We had this long hanging wick, basically like a hammer candle. And then we got a bit of a doji, and now we have this strong bullish momentum to the upside. So even if we get a little bit of a pullback in the first, half of November, for instance, this is still a bullish reversal setup, especially considering that we have this very large bull flag, similar type of setup. Some would call it maybe, if you don't do it with the wicks, I want you to notice, if you don't do this with the wicks, I just want you to notice, boom, option T, pull this down, just the candle bodies, that would be a bit of a bull flag. If you do it with the wicks and you have a broadening wedge, a descending broadening wedge, which these tend to break out bullish. What are we getting right now? We're getting that bullish breakout, and we got to watch for the target. So what else is the impulse? What else is the fueling data points that we should be looking at? Because this is looking really good, and you're not bullish enough, everybody. I really agree with that. Price discovery is next, meaning price going into levels that it has never achieved before. Price discovery is the most exciting part of this market cycle, and it happens on repeat about every 4 years, exactly in this time right now that we are in, and some people are still worried. But continuing on, let's go hit that like button on that post. Now looking, we just also got Micharl Saylor announced that he wants to add $42 billion. $42 billion in Bitcoin purchasing to add to the MicroStrategy Bitcoin balances. It's going to be half and half. 21 billion of that will be debt offering, and 21 will be convertible or equity or whatever like that is. With this new announcement, they plan to double their previous investment, bringing their total investment to approximately $30 billion once completed. Now, if we come over here, let's actually exit out. Let's hit that like button on that post. Hold on. I got to come over. I forgot to set it up, but let's pull up our boy, British Hodl. He is the maxi of all maxis, but I love him. He's all Bitcoin, but it's okay. Everybody's got their own thesis. And I just want you to notice, where is this at? He just posted it yesterday. Right here. MSTR, MicroStrategy, will not only temper the next Bitcoin bear market, meaning reduce the amount of huge downside that we've had in previous bear market cycles, but with $40 to $50 million daily purchasing, we've just set a floor price of $89,000 for every 450 Bitcoin mined daily from one buyer, aka the strength supporting where the price is just got a hell of a lot stronger. And this is before Microsoft. This is before Apple. This is before Amazon. This is before Meta. This is before NVIDIA. This is before Tesla fully reintegrates and having Bitcoin as a payment opportunity. They're still holding 700 something million plus worth of Bitcoin. This is before state governments truly actively, like dominoes, start stacking it. This is before Bitcoin strategic reserve. This is before. You see what my point is right now. There's 45 or 50 million millionaires in the world. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's not enough Bitcoin to go around for every millionaire in the world to own a Bitcoin. Now, the difference between now and 10 years from now is going to be, when did you buy Bitcoin? Once you understand that question, once you understand the impact of what Bitcoin has as a technology, blockchain, and also as a tradable currency, but also as a commodity of storing energy, the quicker you understand that, and even if you don't, the quicker you orange pill yourself and participate in this true revolution, it's going to make, I'm talking, it's going to change the complete outcome possibilities of your life between if you're getting it now or if you're forced to get it in 10 years because that's the way you're going to need to transact and save. Right now is the time. Right now is the moment. So let's get back into it because we got some stuff to talk about. We got about 400 people in here. So shout out to each and every one of you. Shout out to our channel sponsors, CoinW up there. You can see the banner above my head up here. And also, of course, NordVPN helping continue making the show possible. And thank you to every one of you that does Super Chat, that does buy channel memberships, that is a part of BitLab Academy, because this is not just turning on the camera and going. This is a full business with people. And, you know, the more you all support and the different partnerships that we have, the more content and the more things that we can do and bring better alpha to you. So I do appreciate each and every one of you, even if you're just showing up daily, hitting that like button. I love you. I appreciate you. And I want you to win. Now, this is a chart that I created about 2 years ago. Basically, it's an on-chain data chart. And basically, I did Fibonacci math on Fibonacci extensions on the realized price of Bitcoin. And this gives us these, and I turned some of the bands off. All these bands I turned off are lower bands that give you regions to look for when we're breaking down. But we're looking to break to the upside, baby. So we're looking at the upper bands here. And I just want you to know, I said Bitcoin is in one of the most anticipated breakouts in the history of this asset. Price is broken down and price is broken above and held above $70,000. Here are the upper band targets to watch. A break through $75,000. Now, why did I say $75,000? Well, let's look right here. The bull control band, which is this brown band right here. And I did another post about this about 2 weeks ago. But look at this, rejection. Look at this, rejection, rejection, rejection. Once we launch through it, boom, up. Once we launch through it, boom, support, up. This is where we're at right now on the precipice of that next parabola. A breakthrough $75,000, the bull control band will signal the start of the parabolic run. Watch these upper targets from realized price fib resistance bands. And I said, take profit signal currently at $112,000. That is this take profit zone, which is right here. Now, why did I label it that? Because I labeled all these. I made this chart because once you've gotten into the zone, this is when you start getting to the point where you're seeing longer term holders taking profit into the strength of the bull trend. Does that mean it's a top? No, it means that you should be on notice that you need to, if it's not on the time basis for when you thought the market cycle top was or not, when you're paying attention that the price action is getting this separated from the realized price, you need to start identifying what your exit strategy is going to be. Now, shout out Alexandra G, $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Big love to you. And everybody, throw a one in chat for extra supreme love to Alexandra G. She's been here on a daily basis since we started this channel January, February 2 years ago. Always, she does all the time codes at the bottom of every video once it's done. And I really do appreciate you. Also, shout out to GD, Vet 80, ADA, Eagle, Soul, Bob, Fun, ICP. I'm going to put a little star on that. We will do some of those. We will do some of the TA on those. And I think there was another super chat in here as well. Let me see. And then Falco's 5 get to memberships. But my point here is, I want you to notice these bands are above this zone. As the price action really starts to melt, not just pump straight up, but melt to the upside, the realized price moves as well, which in turn also makes these bands move upwards. So my point here is this is so freaking bullish because as the price is right now, if this just moonshot straight up, the extreme hype, the rejection zone, as we saw here, and as you saw, you can't see it if I exit this, you can see right here in 2013, it also touched that rejection zone. We did not. This is why one of those other reasons everybody thought 2020, 2021 was very muted for a bull run. We never got to that extreme hype zone. But had you started taking profits or getting that awareness about you back here, we were riding on that zone the entire time. So if we went straight up from here, the take profit zone starts at 112. That doesn't mean you need to be out of the market. It means you need to be very aware that you need to be identifying what your exit strategy is if you haven't already. But the extreme hype. Their rejection zone's 165. Once the price, if this starts melting up over the next several and many months in through Q1, in through Q2, then these numbers will start moving up near aggressively as well. So, and I said this was this morning at 8:54 a.m. And I want you to point something. I said short time frame, STF, short time frame caution for potential bear trap washout buying opportunity. So let's go ahead. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. What time is it? 12, 11, 10, 9, 3 hours back. So let's look at this. Okay. 1, 2, 3. This is basically right here, just before this breakdown I was talking about. Even though I was showing bullish targets, everybody is so anticipating this. I said, watch out for that bear trap. So those of you that are following me, those of you that are paying attention to what's going on, I'm trying to give you the goods, man. I'm trying to give you the signal. Okay. Now, will we get down to here? We'll have to see. We're sitting here writing right now. $70,500. Let's look at the liquidity in the charts. What do we got? Slice. Look at this. All this liquidity with just this little node up here and just boom, just slice all the way through it. We still have quite a bit, all the way down to about 69, 60, all the way down into about 68,000. But will we get it? We'll have to see. Excuse me. But this is what we're watching right now. We're watching for the break of this bull control band, which is currently at $75,000. So let's go ahead and boom, hit that out, hit that like button. But then we also get, this is where it gets into the fun part. We're talking about the top cryptos of looking basically to stack for a balanced portfolio going into 2025. The U.S. Treasury Department yesterday just released a report on digital assets. Notice there is a page outlining the tokenization of financial products and RWA, real world asset tokenization. That means cars, deeds, marriage licenses, real estate, fine collectibles, stocks, bonds, treasuries. And what do we see here? Treasuries, bonds, equities, housing, art, tokenization. They've been talking about native crypto assets, talking about NFTs. This is in the U.S. Treasury report. In fact, it also went a little bit step further, and they even talked about notable projects, including Ondo. And what does this mean? We also see Ondo said key potential benefits of tokenizing U.S. Treasuries. Remember, this is important, not just because everything needs to be a crypto. It's because blockchain has ushered in the new railway for this next technological revolution. The last technological revolution was an industrial revolution that was built on the railroad, steel into railroad tracks, into ushering into basically global commerce that came soon after, because you could ship goods in a meaningful way. The railroad track is what ushered in that next stage of civilization evolution. Where we're at now, the rails of this future are blockchain, which means they see how 24/7 Bitcoin trades. And for you all to realize, Bitcoin has traded more hours than the stock market has. If you go all the way back about 58 years to 1971, I believe, or 1970 something, because Bitcoin and crypto, they trade, but Bitcoin's oldest, right? So Bitcoin has traded 24/7, 365 for over 14 years, going on 15 years. All right, it's actually longer than that. So 15 years, going on 16 years. 24/7, 365, the math on that is more trading time than the stock market has traded since the 70s, because it's not even 5 days a week. Sometimes there's holidays. There's also, and it's also, was it 9:30 to 4 something p.m. Limited hours per day and limited days per week. Bitcoin has traded more than the stock market. So when you consider that in the near immediate, when you consider Bitcoin as opposed to like Swift transactions, global remittance, whatever, Bitcoin is essentially instant. Okay, it's 10 minutes, sure. But Solana is faster. Okay, look at Bitcoin in the context of how traditional asset spaces take to finalize. You write yourself a check to your other bank. You have to wait 7 days for you to get your own money from yourself. Well, this is basically near immediate. So when you think about what's ushering in, the pressure this is putting on legacy finance, this is why. And although this is the post from Ondo, this goes for all tokenized assets, improving in clearing and settlement, improve collateral management, improve transparency and accountability, composability and innovation, increased inclusion and demand, increased liquidity, all of these things. This is one of the reasons why nearly everything is going to be tokenized in the near future. I mean, imagine you want to invest in properties in Manhattan and you've only got $15,000 in savings. You can't do that. You need to raise millions, tens of millions of dollars to do that. Now imagine if you have an index of different real estate that's available in Manhattan, anywhere in the world, doesn't matter. It could be a skyscraper, it could be a theme park, but you tokenize the ownership of it. Now you can sell somebody $1,000 tokenized representation of that share. Now you have equitable access to anybody that wants to have access to that thing. This is going to change fundraising. It's going to change open ownership and equity for people to participate in these various things. So it's not just Bitcoin and crypto. It's the next Beanie Baby thing. This is the astrology for men. No, we are so far ahead of the pack that maybe some of it was, hey, I want to buy it and get rich. Sure. But that doesn't change the underlying technology and how this is changing every aspect of commerce, every aspect of culture, every aspect of financial sovereignty that we've ever even considered. The time is now, and let's get into it. I got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to go over some coins that I think everybody should be paying attention to. And this is also on the heels right now of this chart. This is the ETH to Bitcoin chart. Basically a great signal on the most basic level of are alts going to run soon or not. And this is Ethereum valued in Bitcoin coming down to a very, very distinguishable support zone. Is this move about to begin? Because when we're talking about Bitcoin, yes, I think you should hold Bitcoin. When we're talking about Ethereum, I think Ethereum is completely undervalued right now because everybody's looking at shiny new things. But the majority of the crypto ecosystem is built on ETH. You cannot deny that. And you also have to realize the price of a traded crypto coin does not directly attribute to it's a good project or not. So if a project is just not really having a lot of exponential growth, that doesn't mean there's any change to the underlying technology, the underlying project therein. Same thing. If a price is mooning, going 17x, that doesn't mean that project is suddenly better. It just means there's a lot of speculative eyes on it. We need to understand these things to really understand the long-term vision of what's happening here. So what projects are we looking at? Well, we're looking at, and I outlined it in a short that I did today, but I'm going to go over, of course, Ethereum, Bitcoin, unquestionable. Ethereum, I think, is still a bit of a dark horse this cycle because everybody's looking at Solana and Sui and Avalanche. And I like those projects, but that doesn't mean you forget that Ethereum is positioned as the dominant market share for altcoins, right? What do you mean? No, it's not, Kelly. Solana's better. Okay, well, shut up with the ignorance first and realize the market cap of Ethereum is $307 billion. The next one down, BNB, is $84 billion. Solana, $80 billion. So this has more than 3 times the market share in terms of money involved in the ecosystem than the next one down. But what if BNB triples? If BNB triples, I don't see that happening in a vacuum where Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't also going up aggressively. So, okay, BNB, Solana starts running, a lot of buying, great. I mean, it needs to 3x in the vacuum of more than 3x and a vacuum of almost 4x and a vacuum of Ethereum not moving at all. So Ethereum, I do think, is a bit of a dark horse. I think it's underperformed, and I think when it starts moving, it's going to move big because there's also already an ETF out there, a Bitcoin Ethereum ETF, the Franklin Templeton one, has a basket that I think a lot of institutions, once we get get clarity on what the administration is going to be, and after, remember, January 20th, November 5th is big, sure. But there's still going to be, let's say Trump wins, there's still going to be a period of time between then and January 20th, January 21st of, is there going to be some sort of suppressive action that happens because, it's almost like in bad faith. Let's suppress, let's bring as many lawsuits as we can before we're out of office. Something like that could happen. And even if it doesn't, I talked to other major investors. There is that sort of uncertainty sort of fear between that and when the confirmation comes in. Now, if Kamala wins, then it's still going to be, is it going to be more of the same in terms of the regulation by enforcement without having clarity like they've had the last 4 years? You've seen Gary Gensler basically making up. SEC got fined $2 million and they got slapped down because they brought false claims against crypto projects. And that's what's happened. That's where the debate is about. Is it the administration? There's uncertainty right now, but Ethereum, I think, is going to do quite well. Now, the next one down is going to be, of course, Chainlink. Is Crypto Crank in here? Raise your hand if you are in here, Crypto Crank. Let me see if you are in here because I did something for you. I was setting up for today's show, and I was like, you know what? I'm cleaning it up, cleaning up the mess. I cleaned up a bunch of my charts. Look how simple that is now. Chainlink chart. This is what I'm looking at. It's been downtrending. We had this large head and shoulders, which gave us a signal that this was likely going to break down. It did. Now we've been trending up. We're coming into this constricted zone here, butting up against all of these lows. Boom, 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 boom. So think of it like a ceiling. It's like a ceiling. Okay, trying to break. No, trying to break. No, trying to break. And now we have this bouncing at higher and higher levels. So this is what's known as the symmetrical triangle. If this is able to consolidate into this, what we're looking at is a breakup here above 13. The next level up we're really watching is 15, and then the next zone will be up here at 19. But this is going to be a major impact within the real world asset tokenization space, especially considering that we just saw all that data from the US Treasury about tokenization of assets, especially since we've seen some sort of ties between Larry Fink and BlackRock and potential sort of integrations or movement or inclusions with Chainlink. I do think Chainlink, and it's also partnered or integrated with Swift. There's so much going on with Chainlink. I think this is absolutely an absolute must hold. Again, everybody, you need to do your own diligence. And I'm talking about these are must holds for me. And if it works for your strategy, then I'm happy for you. Next one up, Avalanche. All the narrative kind of went to Solana and Sui, but Avalanche is out there doing some incredible things. They've got some incredible partnerships. Their tech, they got a 3-chain tech. So they have 3 different chains that segment different types of transactions, whether it's NFTs or transactions or basically, so you don't have a bunch of something happening in one sort of transaction type or action that slows down the bandwidth of other, basically, whether it's payments or transfers. So you're able to have a lot better throughput consistently, and it's infinitely scalable because all you need to do is spin up another node, and then you have another 4,500 transactions per second. But 4,500 transactions per second is slow. 4,500 transactions per second is fast as hell if you only have 4,000 transactions. Now, let's say you have 1 million nodes. Well, what's 1 million times 4,500 transactions per second? It would be that many transactions per second. So it's much better than people. It's much better than people think it is. And this is also going to be somewhat attributed to the RWA narrative. Tokenization. Also, they just launched Off the Grid and everything they're doing there with basically kind of integrating Web3 into gaming as well. I think Avalanche is going to do great this cycle. Solana, of course, you can't deny what Solana is likely going to do this cycle because it has so much institutional involvement and VC money behind it, and the eyes are on it. Is it a bit more decentralized than people would like? Absolutely, I think so. But there's, in some ways, some benefit to that because that means that they can sort out things a little bit easier, but that's going to have to come down to what your motto is and how and why you are investing and trading in this market. Let me see something real quick. Look at that. Boom. That's how we'll do it. We'll have the other one. Look at this. Flat top resistance, rising level of support. This is a pattern that suggests it's going to break bullish. What'd it do? Broke bullish up into the zone. We already bounced once. We want to watch what happens in the zone. And then, of course, we're going to want to watch it when it breaks above 195, and then the next level is 210. And then I think it's going to be up and away. And important to note, if we come over here on Solana to Bitcoin, it is in a massive bull flag. Look at this giant bull flag. So let's say it's not a bull flag. Let's be conservative. Okay, it's a symmetrical triangle. Cool. The symmetrical triangle, look, this means if this breaks out, then this gain, and I want you to understand this gain right here is a 70% gain. Not a lot, right? This is a 70% gain, 74% gain against Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's running up and this is also running up, then you're going to get 74% more gains from this breakout than you would from Bitcoin, which could be 400,000 or 500,000x. This is what you need to understand. Look at how things are going to perform against Bitcoin as well, not just US dollar, because this is telling you, like for instance, if this broke down like this, if this broke down 74%, price action could still be going up. Maybe Bitcoin's just mooning and Solana's not moving. The point is, this is bullish on multiple different types of charts, especially also against Bitcoin, but we're watching right in the zone. Next one, of course, Ondo, U.S. Treasuries, ties with BlackRock. They're doing astronomically well. This is looking a little bit contentious at the moment because we have this downtrend resistance showing rejection, rejection, rejection. Oh, we broke through. Support. But this is looking a little bit like sideways action. So we want to watch what happens in this zone. If this loses this zone, then I think we're going to be coming down here to about 56, 55 cents. But I'm stacking this into sometime next year to sell. So this, for me, would be a buy if it came back down in this level. And you have to do your own diligence. Now, if this does bounce in the zone, we're watching for a break above 83 to 86. And then this will likely, that the market's probably moving at that point. But I'm stacking into this because of its positioning in U.S. Treasuries and BlackRock and part of the BitL fund with BlackRock. And I think this is going to do very well. Near protocol. I've been talking about this for some time, but this is what I'm looking at. Much cleaner charts today, guys. Rejection here, a little bit of overshoot here, but bounce regionally, support. But we have this rising level of support here, a bit of a symmetrical triangle. So let's measure it from this point right here, not all the way at the back. We'll measure it from this point right here. And this would be boom, copy, paste, boom. Let's go like this. This suggests if we break down, we could go down to $1.93. Well, if that happens, I think the market as a whole is tanking. This also suggests if we break out, this could come up here and eclipse these highs right here on this Coinbase chart, which I believe would be new all-time highs, which would put us up here about 1082. But where we're sitting right now in the near term, we're watching what's going on in here. But I don't think if we broke down, we'd really get down to $1.93. I'd be watching for this zone right here. Now, why that zone? Because we see this chop. That's where price had trouble. This bounced. We see this bounce right here, a little overshoot deviation. But look, bounced right here. And this has an intersection of this. So if this does break down, I'll be watching for great opportunity here in the mid 350s sort of zone. I do think this would be more of a trap, but so long as the price in Bitcoin doesn't drop to 65 or 63, I think this will hold in this zone and push up. If we do drop below that $69,500 mark that we talked about at the beginning of the stream, then this I do think would be giving us this opportunity down here. But we're just days, if not a week or two away from the most exciting time in this market. And then we got, of course, BitTensor, which, yes, we've talked about, but BitTensor, it's an AI play, sure, but it's also an infrastructure play. It's AI depend. It's an ecosystem that creates a marketplace for you, for me, for institutions. Whether you're looking for AI development to be done, or you are a developer looking to make money to develop stuff, this creates that marketplace. So it's a decentralized community that incentivizes and creates markets around building the best AI products and services that, out there. So and remember, this also has a 21 million market cap, a 21 million total token supply cap as well, similar to Bitcoin, and it's sitting here at $485. Now, do I think this is going to go to $72,000? I mean, that's way, way, way too lofty. If I saw this, north of 2,500 this cycle, anywhere above that, it's fantastic. If this even breaks above 1,500, I'd still be super happy, considering what they're doing, especially if the AI narrative has any sort of legs this cycle. So what else we got? We got Render, of course. And there's other plays. By the way, the coins I'm breaking down today, these are the must-have coins. There's other coins that I hold. I share the altcoin portfolio with you guys. There's some smaller market cap plays, but the smaller market cap plays that are potential moonshots, they're not must-haves. They're like, if you got a little extra and you want to get a 0.5% or a 1% allocation to it, than you do. I'm showing you things that I think have a very strong possibility, very strong likelihood to really dominate this cycle. Then you have render, which is GPU, computer processing power. That's not sexy. It is GPU computer processing power that is decentralized, that you can rent and utilize. Apple is Apple is integrated with this with their new iOS updates. Also with the what do they call them? The Apple Vision, whatever it is, the virtual reality. But there's now you have Sora. Sora is that new AI that can create video from text. Where are they getting all that video processing power? Companies like Render, or projects like Render, projects like Aether, so on and so forth. Now, Aether, ATH, Aether is probably one of my more like, I think that'll do well, but it's more of a moonshot, higher risk, much smaller market cap. Render's got the sort of lion's share. They're also have been working with NVIDIA for quite some time. I think this will do incredibly well this cycle. Now, in addition to that, we got Aerodrome, and I've talked about this before, but Aerodrome is a DEX, decentralized exchange on Base Network. Now, why is that sexy? Because it's Coinbase Ventures bought $100 million worth of Aerodrome on open market, not over the counter, not behind closed doors. They bought it basically on an exchange. They bought it. And then months later, we see that they launched wrapped Bitcoin on Base. And in order to do those transactions and transact and confirm those wrapped Bitcoin, it's all going to happen through Aerodrome. So, I mean, guys, this is a no-brainer for me. Now, what do we see here? Giant W pattern. Boom, boom, boom. So what do we see currently is just a retest of this sort of neckline right in this zone. Let's go to bring that out a little bit. Kind of a sort of a retest. If we do break down below here, I'm looking for an awesome opportunity down here at 70 cents. If this is able to hold in this region, we're watching for a breakout above 162 and then likely up and away. But this is something I think is a very strong proponent for the portfolio. And then a little bit of a micro cap, a little bit of a gem, Propy, P-R-O. Tim Draper, one of the legendary investors in crypto and, bought millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin at auction from the U.S. government about 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years, I don't remember. But he's one of the investors in this. They also just outlined that they have an integration, a partnership of some sorts with Coinbase Prime. And so this is a real estate tokenization play. So this is real world asset tokenization of real estate. So you can basically buy and sell your homes in crypto using Propy. P-R-O is a ticker. And now, just like when you buy a house, all the money has to go into escrow, and then once all the things are done, then the money is redistributed to the person that bought or sold, that sold. Similarly, they basically have all these contracts now being essentially custodied and operated through Coinbase Prime, Coinbase Lending. And so this gives it a little bit more authority of trustworthiness, and they've got some major players that are behind it. Gary Cardone is also starting to integrate with some of the different spaces, and I think he's become an investor in this as well. And this is something sitting here. If we look at this, let's go ahead and look. P-R-O. There we go. Propy. And we can see this is sitting at under $100 million market cap. The opportunities are here. The bullishness. Don't be mad that the market's not going up right now. In fact, I would say you should be championing. You should be exciting about this price action not running away, because we still have a little bit more time to stack into this. But with that, everybody, I love you all. I want to ask each and every one of you, if you are tuned in, head over to @AcademyBitLab or head over to my page here @KellyKellam. Hit that retweet button, hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, come over to this link. I'll share it in the live chat right now. If you're watching on Twitter, what are you doing? Share this out, show some love, get some engagement. Even if you just hit that bookmark thing, that's also does a great bit of service, or the like button. When you engage with this content, it lets these different social media platforms know that you're watching, and it knows that you like what's going on. And it's the easiest way that you can help support people that are out here just giving you this free alpha. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you check out these links. Sign up for our free traders group. We have the whole education, the first half of the full education platform that you get free, and all the different trading signals and so on and so forth is right there. And if you want to protect yourself before you wreck yourself. Head over here to nordvpn.com/BitLab, BITLAB. That gets you 4 months free, 4 extra months free for signing up there. And it's a matter of like $2 or $3 a month. Something like that. But go over there, sign up. It's honestly a great way to help support the channel. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We're going to head over to Blockchain Basement. Shout out to anybody, wherever you're at, regardless of what you ate last night, regardless of who you ate it with. I'm happy to see you here. Hope you have a wonderful day. My name's Kellam. Practice some gratitude. I'll see you in the next one. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. BitLabAcademy.com.